Hello, and welcome to the first in what I hope is many parts, where I go through how to write a book, how to get published, how to become an author, how to get an agent, and all the things that go with it. Next week's part is going to be about that first idea you have. But this week is 15 things that you should know before you start writing, or things that I wish I'd known. Now, some of you probably have no idea who I am and are wondering why this crazy man is talking about writing. How does he know anything? My name is Steve McHugh. I am the award-nominated best-selling author of the Helen Chronicles, Avalon Chronicles, and Rebellion Chronicles. And I am, as of beginning of this year, into last year, I've sold 1 million books internationally. I have 13 books out, 3 novellas, about to be a 4th as of this October, called Blackcoat. And while, yes, it does seem like there's a lot of people all telling you different ideas, I kind of want to do this because a lot of people ask me about how and why to write a book, how to get an agent, how to get published, how to do all these things. And if I can help someone like people helped me when I first started, job's done. So that's who I am. So, about this episode. This episode is 15 things that I wish I knew before I started writing, or things that I think you should know before you start. Some of these will cause anger in people. That is understandable. You should know that this is things that I think, not things that everybody's going to think. The thing with writing is that it's very much trial and error about what works for you. And that's one of the points that I'm going to get to later on. Yeah, foreshadowing. So, we will start off with the first point. Word of warning, anyone who's not seen my videos before, I do ramble, I occasionally swear. If those things are a problem, very sorry. Tough. Yeah, it happens. So, point number 1. Talent is not as important. Great start, Steve. Talent is not as important as graft. So, what I mean by that is that if you can write beautifully and you can write a thought-provoking, emotive story, that's great. Really brilliant. But lots of people have talent. This is mostly about traditional published, because self-published don't have that extra barrier to go through to find an agent and a publisher. Yeah, you need to learn. You're going to get rejections, and you need to put in the work, and you do. And the same goes for self-publishing. If you want to be successful at it, you need to put in the graft. You can't just pump out nonsense and expect to get loads and loads and loads of buys. You need to sit and work and work and work and work and work and work. My first book took me 5 years to write. That's not including just getting stuff sorted. We'll go further into that in another video about voice and finding your own voice and stuff. But essentially, graft is what will get you either a publishing deal or an agent or success or whatever it is you're after. Talent will only get you so far, and then graft really is what takes you further. Also, point number 2, luck. Getting published, you need luck. Being successful, you need luck. Finishing a book, you need luck. There's a lot of luck. As much as most people probably don't want to hear that, there just is. It's just the way it is. It's just how life works. Some people fall by the wayside. Some people find that they can't finish the book for various reasons. Some people will send the exact wrong book at the exact wrong time to an agent who has had something just like it the week before, or a publisher who is just about to publish something just like it. So you need some luck, and you should prepare for that, because you can do everything right and still not It's still not work, because yeah, you need that luck. And then that's the same if you self-publish, just so you're aware. You still need luck. You still need that. The best method of selling books is word of mouth. So you still need people to buy your book who will be willing to tell their friends that they've bought your book and how good it is. And you can't quantify that. You can't tell people that they have to do it. There's some luck involved. Okay. Part 3. Write for you, not for someone else. If you don't love what you're writing, no one else is going to. If you're trying to write to a market because you think that's what people want, the readers will tell. They just will. It's just, if you don't love what you're doing, why are you doing it? If you don't love, in terms of writing, I mean, in terms of, if you know, any job, sometimes you just have to do the job because that's what you have to do. We've all had to work in jobs we hated, because that's what we've had to do. But if you're writing a book, that shouldn't be because you're doing it because you hate it. If you're writing a book and you hate it, why are you writing a book? You have to love what you write. You don't have to necessarily love everything about writing, because I bloody well don't. But you do have to love what you're writing. Otherwise, it's just going to get lost in the ether and people will be able to tell. Part 4. I'm not going to do the finger thing for every single one. I don't know why I did it there. Anyway, part 4. There are 2 forms of publishing primarily. Self-publishing, which is self-explanatory. You publish the book yourself. You get a cover. You get someone to edit it. You do the marketing. You are self-publishing. Or traditional publishing, where a publisher publishes it for you. Normally you need an agent. We'll get into that because that's a whole other thing. Those are the 2 forms. There are no rights or wrongs to either one. There are benefits to either one, and there are drawbacks to each. I have done both. There is the hybrid author is becoming more prevalent. Again, we will get into self and trad in a completely its own video, because I could talk for an hour just on this. But yes, you need to know self-publishing, traditional publishing. You don't have to make a decision immediately. It's not like before you have to start writing, you have to be like, right, I am going to be self-published. Because you don't. Because I changed my mind on my first book, and you can too. Right. This is just me. But there are 2 types of author-ish pants. Plotters and pantsers. Okay? Plotters plot absolutely bloody everything. Pantsers just write. I am somewhere in the middle of the 2. We'll do another video on that as well. However, I cannot recommend enough getting a notebook, a good one. As good as it doesn't have to be like fancy, gold leaf pages or anything, but just something that you can chuck in a bag or in a pocket and isn't going to be destroyed. Okay, so just this one is made by William Hanna, and they're brilliant, but they're also not cheap. But if you can afford a really good notebook, get one. Also, get a good pen. You want to use a Bic, I don't care. But you should still get a good pen, because if you do end up when you first start writing, you need to try stuff. So you're going to be trying plotting and see how it goes. You might hate it, you might immediately hate it, or it might be great for you. I write all my world building in a notebook, and I use a fountain pen. This was the first thing I ever bought with any royalties. My TWSBI fountain pen. It's wonderful. It's about 50 quid. And for every book, every single book that I've written since that, I've used a notebook to write world building. Not the actual story, just the world building. I might jot notes about the story, but if you are going to sit down and you're going to start writing in a notebook, you need a comfortable pen. I can't use a Bic because they make my hands hurt. I used a rollerball for a while. I used this one actually, which is very cool. It's got see, it's just cool. I can't remember who this is by. Retro, someone or other. Retro 1951, I think. It's really good. And not an advert. There are other makes of other rollerballs. I don't care. Again, other makes of other fat pens. I don't. My Lamy Safari, whatever you want. But yes, good notebook, good pen. They are going to be your best friends. Even if you become a pantser and you make it up as you go along, it's probably good to be able to make notes so that you're not at 10 o'clock at night, just about to fall asleep, and you get a great idea and you think, I'll leave that till the morning. You don't. It'll vanish. I'll guarantee it. Every single bloody time. Right, move on from my bits there. 2. Number 6. Thick skin. You're going to need one. You want to be a writer, you need a thick skin. You cannot let yourself get upset because someone doesn't like your book. You cannot let yourself get upset because someone decides to troll your book or leave you a shitty review or, well, anything really. When you first start writing, you're going to get upset when people don't like your work. You're going to send it to beta readers, and we'll get into beta readers later on, don't worry. In another video, we don't need to discuss them any in depth right now, or writing group or whatever, and then someone's going to not like your book, and you need to go, okay, and move on. Take the advice and go. Don't get annoyed or irritated or angry or anything. Don't snap, don't go mad. Don't be one of these absolute arseholes who decides to email reviewers with shitty nonsense because they didn't think your book was the second coming. Just nod and move on. Every single author worth their salt has bad reviews. Every single one. And you will too. And it's guaranteed. You will get that 1-star review that says, book was late. Yeah. Or the 1-star review that says, I didn't order this. Or there's too much swearing in it. Or any number of ridiculous things that people find an excuse to give you a 1-star review for. It's going to happen. You just need to just let it go. That doesn't mean it's okay for people to tag you in negative reviews. That is a shitty thing to do, and if someone does it, you should tell them to fuck off. Yeah. Number 7. So this is more traditional publishing than self-publishing, which, although it does run into self-publishing, your first book probably won't get published. It just won't. Takes a while to figure out the kind of writer you want to be, the kind of writer you are, the kind of characters you create, the kind of words you use. And your first book is probably shit. And I'm sorry if that upsets you. But it probably, mine was rubbish. Mine's in a USB stick and it's never really seen the light of day. It just is. It's just the way it's going to be. It's going to be rubbish. Very few people, without any practice, write that first book and it's just golden. So you need to prepare yourself for the fact that that first book that you're writing, that you're going to spend years maybe writing, is probably going to be shit. Probably not get published. Sorry. Number 8. Number 8, 9, and 10 are all very similar, but they're all 4 different things. So number 8 is read books outside of your genre. If you are writing urban fantasy, read historical fantasy, read crime fiction, read romance books, read erotica, read whatever. Read outside of your genre and read the stuff that is popular in other genres as well. So when I was first creating Crimes Against Magic, I read Lee Charles, I read D.B. Reynolds, who writes vampire erotica, Misha Muto, who writes spooky ghost stories. I read loads, Star Wars books, Warhammer 40k stuff. Just loads of different stuff. And I still read all of that stuff now. Loads of different stuff. Loads of different genres. Just by different people. Don't just read the same thing from the same people. Get different points of view. Get all of this. Don't just go out there and just read the same style stuff. Read people. Purposefully go out and find people who, if you're only reading white men, white straight men even, read, women. Read people who aren't white. Read people who aren't straight. Get different viewpoints. Your writing will improve immeasurably if you go outside of that comfort zone and you purposefully go and search books that aren't in your normal wheelhouse. And by the same token, number 9, read the big titles in the genre you want to write in. I wrote urban fantasy, so Jim Butcher, Kevin Hearn, Rivers of London books, that sort of thing. Kelly Armstrong, they're all big names within urban fantasy. And yeah, don't copy them. If you want to write a book about a wizard who is a private investigator who lives in Chicago, you might have a problem because that's been done. But if you want to write a book about a werewolf who is a teacher who lives in Chicago, but that's a bit different, or sorcerer, or whatever. But see what the big guns are doing, and don't do exactly the same, but at least then you have an idea of how they are creating their stories and what is popular. If you want to sell books, that's probably useful. Okay, 10. Watch films, watch TV, watch anime, play computer games. You don't have to do all of them. I really recommend you do. If you're writing an action-based book, my books are full of action. I've spent my entire childhood and all the way up to my now 42 years of age watching South Korean films, Hong Kong films from the 70s and 80s, Thai films, Indonesian, just that whole plethora of amazing action and thriller and all this that they are so good at doing. And then, you watch TV shows about long-running. West Wing is excellent at conversations and things like that. Anime. If you're ever writing anything with magic or science fiction or fantasy, or you want fights, anime is absolutely spot on for how to do it well, because they're so good at it. And then video games. I like video games. Also, they're great. And you get lots of ideas from video games. As anyone who's read my books can contest. They're all different medium, and comic books as well. They're all different medium, and they all teach you how to become a better writer. You don't have to copy them verbatim, but all those 3 points there will make you a better writer. Go outside your wheelhouse. Read books by people that aren't your normal, what you normally read, or what you are writing. Yes, seek that out. It will make you a better writer. Number 12. Are we 12? No, number 11. Do not be afraid of failure. You're going to fail at least once. You're going to write a book that's shit, or you're going to write a book that no one's going to want to pick up, or agents won't pick up, or won't sell, or can't be afraid of that. It sucks. It never stops sucking. But you can't be afraid of it. Because if you're afraid of it, then why are you doing it? Don't be afraid of failure. Everybody fails. The best get back up and get on with it. Try again. 12. We're on 12, right? I think so, yeah. Okay. Anyone who tells you that there are rules that you have to stick to when writing a book is lying, because there are not. There are rules that writers don't use. There's a rule that says you always have to use chapters. Terry Pratchett never used chapters. Punctuation. Well, some authors don't use punctuation. There are always people who break the rules. Being good at breaking the rules is the point. Don't just break the rules because you think it's cool, but if you have a point, then good. But the rules will only apply to one person, or it might apply to loads of people, but it won't apply to everybody. You need to find what rules apply to you. And that is the trick. And that's what takes so long. Anyone who tells you, in number 13, anyone who tells you that they can tell you how to sell 1 million books, ignore, they are a scam. Almost certainly. I mean, it goes without saying. So if I come up to you and say, I know exactly how you can sell 1 million books. Well, unless the answer is buy a scratch card or buy 1 million books, then no. 14. Anyone who asks for money for publishing is a scam. Valiant Publishing is a scam. If someone says to you, you give me $5,000, pounds, whatever, and we'll publish your book, bullshit, run away. Don't touch them. Not with a barge pole. They are blood-sucking reptilian leeches and do not fucking deserve your time or money. Do not have anything to do with anyone who asks for money for publishing. Number 15. Okay, this is a biggie. Okay, the last one, really big one. You're gonna have to write. Yeah. You do not want to be one of those people that has spent years just saying, one day I'm going to write a book. Because those people are annoying. Because I used to be one of those people. So yes, you're going to have to actually write something if you want to be a writer. It doesn't magically appear. If it did, that would be awesome and we'd all be really happy. But it doesn't. You have to sit your ass in a chair or stand up and type, I don't care. But you have to actually put in the work. Like putting in the graft from point one. You can't just expect it to happen because it won't. And if you are sat on a story, it'll almost guarantee you someone else will come up with a better version of your story and sell it. And that's why you need to work. See? So that's all 15, but I do have one more. And I didn't want to put this in the 15. This is a special bonus one, okay? Writing a book is easy. It is. Anyone can write a book. Anyone. And you could put a chimpanzee in front of a typewriter and it'll write a book. You could copy and paste one word 100,000 times and there you go, here's a book. It'll be shit and no one will read it, but it's a book. Writing is easy. Writing something worthwhile is not. Writing something good is not. It is about work. It is about having an ethic to get better, to improve. It is about loving what you do. I don't love every part of writing. I don't love every part of writing at all. There are some parts that absolutely suck. But I love being an author. I love crafting stories. And to not sound big-headed, I like to believe I'm actually decent at it and I know what I'm doing. In the same way that when I used to work at Siemens and I used to do database stuff, I knew what I was doing. It's not in a big-headed way, but I just, yeah, I know how to do that. So yeah, writing is not difficult at all in any way, shape or form. But writing something good is. And that's the hard bit. Because there is no magic formula. There is no magic at all into writing a good book. It's just work. And work and work and work and work and work. And then when you've finished, you work and work and work and work and work some more. You want to get good at something? Keep doing it. Right. Every minute you get, every spare minute you get. Make notes, make new stories, make new characters. It doesn't matter, just keep going. And eventually you will probably get there. Not a guarantee, because not everybody will be published. It goes back to luck and being in the right place at the right time. But you put the graft in and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep trying, you're probably going to be. Your odds are pretty good. That was 15 things and a bonus thing that you should know before you start writing. This isn't really a thing you should know, it's just my feeling on it. Being an author is awesome. I highly recommend it. If there's anyone out there who's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, yeah, you should, because it's great. And I love every minute of it. I don't love everything about it, but I love doing my job. I love getting emails from people to tell me that things I've written have mattered to them. Nothing else quite like it. And if that's what you want to do, all power to you, because it's awesome. And it's not easy. And you will have long days and long nights, and your brain won't switch off when you want it to, and it's a pain in the ass, but it's bloody worth it in the long run. So there you go. That's my first video. So if you like this video, please do like and subscribe, and we will do more of them in the future. We're going to try and do one a week, but it might elongate because some holidays and the kids are off. If there are any aspects of being an author or publishing or writing that you want to discuss, please do leave a comment. Let me know what it is, and I can sort out doing a video about it. And yeah, so that's part 1 done. And thank you very much for watching, and roll along with part 2. Cheers.